my pocket.
Which glass of water would you rather drink? This one looks clean, but water can contain mercury and other toxic chemicals. Cleaning fluids, pesticides, battery acids, even gasoline have been found in people's water supplies. Some of them, like mercury and lead, are called heavy metals.
They would catch the fish and then they would eat them and they would get the silver stuff inside them.
When heavy metals get absorbed into a fish's body or into our own bodies, they stay there, building up until eventually they can make us sick or even kill us. These metals may come from industries, being poured directly into the water, or from garbage dumps.
Chemicals make the paper white.
Okay. What chemical do they use to make the paper really white?
Chlorine. The chlorine will go into the rivers.
And the chemicals stay in there.
What do you think that chlorine would probably do to you?
Kill me.
And this water might be perfectly safe. Before I drink either of them, maybe I should ask a few questions.
The chemicals in the clouds form acid rain. The acid rain could go down onto the earth and wreck a whole bunch of things, and animal and plant life.
Air pollution from smokestacks and car exhaust causes acid rain. Water falls through polluted air, picking up acid and bringing it back to Earth. This changes the acid level, or pH, of our lakes and rivers. pH is important. Most plants and animals cannot survive if the pH level is wrong.
pH is one of the water quality variables that we monitor in rivers to determine how healthy a system is. Because too high or too low a pH will affect the aquatic life, and some organisms can't survive unless they're in a specific range. Also, the pH of the water is important for irrigation. The Seine River is used quite a bit for irrigation. And if the pH isn't appropriate for that, then we could do damage to the crops. If you would collect a sample of water for me, I'll show you how to do the chemical test for pH. Great. Now we need these two test tubes filled up just to the line. If I could get you to add 6 drops of the indicator to one of these test tubes. Okay, so you can see that the one that we've added the indicator to has changed color. Now what we have to do is put it into the pH kit in order to determine what pH that is. If we open it up, we'll see that there's a number of different colors that correspond to different pHs. So we'll take the one with the indicator and put it there, and we'll take our blank water sample and put it on the other side. And I'll close that up, and what I'd like you to do is just to rotate the wheel until you match up the color of our sample with the color on the wheel. Okay, now if you read at the bottom, it'll tell us what pH that is. 8.0. Could you record that down for us?
Sewage is coming out of those pipes. They're called microorganisms.
Waste from humans and animals, sewage, can create another problem for our water supply. Untreated sewage contains microorganisms, microscopic creatures that can cause disease, ranging from stomach aches to epidemics of typhoid, hepatitis, and cholera. Why do we do all these things to our water? We know how important it is, so why are we polluting it? We don't want dirty water. No one ever complains that the water is too clean and we need more pollution.
More filth! More filth! More filth! More filth! More filth! More filth! More filth!
The fact is, it has a lot to do with the way we live.
So that we as humans could live better.
We want these things. We want to have TV and
So
go to the bathroom. The company might go broke.
Right, because what would they be spending their money on?
Cleaning up the chemicals that they spill out into the water.
They need to keep the bugs off of their crops because they need to sell them after.
We have no other thing to do. We can't just get rid of the garbage.
We want things to make our lives better. We want food from agriculture, and we want jobs and products from industry. But pollution is part of the price we've been paying for the way we live. Let's look at the problem of sewage from the sustainable development viewpoint.
Solid human wastes, maybe.
Rivers flow, so if we flush our waste directly into one, it goes away from us. However, it could make our neighbors downstream very unhappy, definitely reducing their quality of life and health. Environmentally, of course, it's good to clean the water we use. But sewage treatment is expensive, and the people in some places, maybe where the problem isn't too bad, don't want to spend the money. Many places just can't afford it. So it's best if we are careful with our water in the first place. Can we afford to let any part of our planet become polluted? Doesn't it affect us all? We can see that when the economic side of our sustainable triangle becomes unbalanced, the other sides become unbalanced as well, and the possibility of sustainable action is reduced. In the long run, what should we do to sustain our water? Scientific research can lead to new ways of doing things, but we also have to look at how we can help. We can do something about our water. We can change our attitude.
We could treat the water.
We could treat the water? How do you mean we could treat the water?
Could take out all the impurities, and
We can also do a test on what kind of chemicals in there, too.
we could aerate the water.
Why would we test the water?
To see how dirty it is, or
To see how dirty it is?
how polluted, or... We could get a group going to clean up the riverbank, and I'll take all the junk out of the river. Cattails or something in there, and that might help clean it or purify the water. If we planted trees, it would help hold the ground together better, and so the erosion wouldn't be as bad.
Wasting water is easy, but it's easy to conserve it too. If you really want to help make the world better, go and get your hands dirty. You can clean up a riverbank and plant some vegetation that's good for the water. It's not that hard, it's a lot of fun, and it does make a difference. In order to figure out exactly what's best for you to do, you have to know what's good about your water and what's bad. That's why we tested the water at Omens Creek and the Seine River. The students conducted 5 tests: a Secchi disc test for water clarity, a pH test for acid level, a water temperature test, an iron test to see how much iron there was in the water, and a visual observation test. They recorded the results. What test did you do?
I did the pH test.
And what were the results of that?
Well, it showed that it's pretty good for marine life because the numbers were 7.5 to 9.
Is that different from the fall?
No, it's pretty much the same.
What test did you do?
The iron test was to check how much iron is in the water.
Right.
And it's the, not, 0.25 is good for marine life.
One good thing to do is repeatedly test one stretch of water over time, so you can learn what changes are happening and spot problems as they arise. You can adopt a river and pass the data on to your friends and neighbors. This river was here before any of us. But if we want it to keep running into the future, we have to change the way we think and act now.